All right, we're going to transition over a little bit. Hopefully we don't get too much of the home video action here. But one thing that I failed to mention earlier, and it's very important, is that Bill Costanzo and some of this research is all funded by the Texas Predator Management Board. So most all sheep and goats sold in the state of Texas, there's a checkoff that goes to the Predator Management Board. And they've seen some of the research that we've been doing, and we've had a cooperative agreement with them, and they're funding some of this work because they see the value in it. So, it's important to do collaborative work with the industry, and that brings up our next panel here. And so one thing that we've, had some concern with is there isn't really a representative group that represent livestock guardian dogs, whether it's for breeders or for the producers that have done it. And so we've reached out to the industry, and very fortunately a group of people have stepped up and are in the process of developing the Texas Livestock Guardian Dog Association. So the industry has representation for the use of these dogs, and it's also a means for breeders to advertise and things of that such that's being developed. And we have these two gentlemen here. We have Walter Pfluger and Michael. How do you pronounce your last name? I always get it wrong. Annunziato are some of the founding board members that's getting it going. And so they're going to talk to you a little bit about why they see value in this and why they're helping getting this going. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Good. Thank you, Ray. Well, I'm a producer, not a breeder, and practiced law for a number of years, and last year decided to retire from the law practice and get really back into producing sheep and goats. And I thought, where do I start? And I went to the Sheep and Goat Raisers meeting and listened to Reed and Bill talk about their program, a very exciting program. And then they introduced the concept of a breeder and producer organization that was separate from their program. We've been working all year long on that organization. We came up with the name of it with a group of people, a group of breeders primarily. And we formed a Texas corporation, the Texas Livestock Guardian Dog Association. We're in the process of working with a CPA to determine the best tax type of status that we can achieve for the goals of the organization. And I would think in the next month or two, we will have that settled, working on the different classes of membership for the association, maybe a breeder's membership and a producer membership level, maybe some different dollar amounts for those. And COVID interrupted some of the field days that we wanted to have membership drives, but I feel sure that's going to take care of itself as soon as possible, and we can actually have some face-to-face meetings, tell people what we're trying to do, and create a membership group to go forward. But I'm really excited about it as a producer, because when I first started out, I really didn't know how to determine which breeders might be in the basket of breeders that I wanted to work with. I had a lot of questions and not so many answers. And over the past year of trying to set the association up, I've met breeders. A lot of things have cleared up in my mind, and I still have a whole lot of questions that I'm excited that this association and the research that Bill and Reed and their team are doing will be helpful to me. I agreed to serve on the panel before I knew it was virtual, and usually panels get questions from the audience and don't have to say too much on their own. They just answer questions. But anyway, today we're kind of questionless, I guess. Mick Annunziato has lots of answers if you have questions.
I am a part of this organization as well. I am a breeder and a producer. One of the needs that we felt that was educating people on the dogs, what they can do, what the benefits are. People always have questions, and without a reputable place to go get good answers, it makes it hard. There's always a learning curve. We're also looking at some legislation down the road to be able to assist with for the producers and the breeders when it pertains to livestock guardian dogs.
Well, as a breeder, Mick, you've been doing this for 25 years, and what kind of issues and what parts of the country do issues come up more between the people that are using the guard dogs and the communities around them that might, in some cases, be real close to each other? And can you say what your experience on that has been?
Sometimes your small ranchette equations or your more populated areas, your dogs are closer to other people's animals, and people are concerned about the dogs being aggressive towards people and other animals. That is a problem, or that is an issue that we would like to be able to address and help people out with.
And probably in your experience, there's a lot of concern when people see dogs running around next to them with sheep and goats, and people who are uneducated about the temperament of these dogs can get concerned very quickly.
Temperament, yes. People don't understand these dogs don't have to have shelter. They don't have to. It's 32 degrees and 6 feet of snow on the ground. That dog's on top of the snow, basking in the sun, having a good day. And people think that dog needs to be in a heated environment. And on the same aspect, 100-degree day with the sun burning down, a water tank is just as sufficient as shade for that dog. People don't understand those things, and that's what an organization like this can answer and help people with, and lobby legislation not to cause problems with those dogs doing their job accordingly.
Yeah, I think that in my situation, I'm more rural, and most of my neighbors are ranchers, and we always notify them that we're going to have dogs next to them in the pastures. But I can see that within close to the city limits somewhere, and you have people that we would like to educate more about what we're doing, the treatment of the dogs, the temperament of the dogs, and you raise Maremma dogs that you socialize, and their temperament is very gentle, very people friendly, correct?
A lot, yes. They're tend to be a more docile towards human interaction. They interact better a lot of times. Any dog that is properly introduced and has human interaction can be a dog that has good temperament, whereas a dog that is strictly left to livestock out to large open places may be a little bit more feral, a little bit more on the wild side.
Well, the mission statement for our association is to support, promote, and advance the sustainable use of effective livestock guardian dogs by farmers and ranchers. Our vision is to increase the effective use of livestock guardian dogs. And our core values, we strongly believe guardian dogs are one of the most cost-effective and sustainable means to protect livestock and crops of farmers and ranchers. We believe that sustainable use of our resources and the land that they are on is critical to the long-term welfare of the agricultural industry, and we promote honesty, integrity, and professionalism within the livestock guardian dog community in the agriculture industry. And this is what has excited me as a producer. I am not a breeder of dogs. I don't have any plans to sell dogs or anything like that, but I do have about 20 guard dogs right now in different pastures. And this is what I'm excited about. I don't think in my part of the country that I could raise kids or lambs without guard dogs. That's been been my experience. And so I'm excited that we're bringing a group of producers and breeders together where people can have a clearinghouse for obtaining dogs, obtaining answers, meeting with each other and trying to solve the problems of the industry as sort of a parallel group to go along with all the great research that Reed and Bill are doing here at the AgriLife Center.
Hopefully by the time of our next field day, we'll be ready, set up to take memberships and start supporting producers and breeders with this. And there is a website or Facebook page. Bill can probably load up through this and direct people towards this as well. I bet we're close to the end.
We are. Thank you guys very much for coming out and talking today.
There are a few questions.
We just have one question.
Yes, go ahead.
Right.
Do y'all sell the dogs after the research is completed?
So what we've been doing is we find a cooperating producer. And so part of that project that we've started is that the producer takes the dogs, they take care of all the health and the feeding and that type of thing. And at the end of the project run, if they would like to purchase the dogs, they can then purchase those dogs. The first cooperating producer that we had was so happy with them. He bought the dogs within 2 months of using the dogs, and he had never had dogs ever before. And they're very happy with them. And these two pups that are here in the pen today are actually two of their dogs that I'm doing a short little training course on for them. So are there any other questions?
Yeah. Do you have any fence signage to inform others that dogs exist in the pasture?
Yes, we do. I know that's an issue for some producers. And so all of the Texas A&M ranches have signage that say there's livestock guardian dogs on duty. That's really up to you as an individual producer on how you want to look at your liability, you know, and how your ranch insurance is set up.